He said it was a trip of unity, a mission of charity. Prince Harry presented his visit to Canada as a noble cause. But now a bombshell has been dropped. Palace insiders have broken their silence, and they're calling the Duke of Sussex a liar. What really happened in Canada? And why is the royal family now taking the gloves off? Welcome to Royal Report 24/7. We deliver the unfiltered truth about the royal family. The story you are about to hear will change how you see Harry and Meghan forever. Before we reveal the shocking evidence, support our mission. Subscribe to Royal Report 24/7 and like this video right now. Your clicks tell YouTube you want more content like this. Share this with one friend who needs to hear the truth. Now let's begin. Last month, Prince Harry traveled to Canada. The public reason was to promote the Invictus Games. He spoke of resilience. He talked about service. It was a classic Harry and Meghan media event. All positive headlines and smiling photos. But behind the scenes, a very different story was unfolding. Our sources inside the palace have now revealed the truth. The trip was not what it seemed. It was not just about Invictus. It was a strategic power move. And according to palace officials, it was built on a foundation of lies. So what is the first lie? The palace says Harry lied about the funding. Publicly, the narrative was all about his charity work. But privately, Harry's team made a direct request. They asked the Canadian government for financial support. We're talking about security costs. We're talking about logistical support. This was a multi-million-dollar ask. This is a serious problem. Why? Harry is no longer a working royal. He lives in the United States. He has commercial deals worth millions. So why should Canadian taxpayers fund his trip? The palace was furious. They see this as a blurring of lines. It exploits his royal status for personal gain. A senior aide called it unacceptable and deceptive. But the lies go deeper. Let's talk about the second and bigger deception. The palace says Harry lied about his intentions. The trip was publicly branded as non-political, but our sources say that is false. Behind closed doors, Harry met with several groups. These were not just veterans' charities. He met with political lobbyists. He met with figures who have strong anti-monarchy views. Why is this so explosive? The king is the head of state for Canada. The monarchy is a fragile institution there. For the king's own son to meet with its opponents is a breathtaking act of betrayal. Palace aides call it a deliberate sabotage. They believe Harry is not just indifferent to the monarchy. They believe he is actively working against it. This leads us to the biggest question. Why is the palace speaking out now? For years, they have followed the mantra, never complain, never explain. They have endured Harry's book, Spare. They have endured the Netflix series. They have endured the Oprah interview. So why break their silence over this Canada trip? The answer is simple. They have reached their breaking point. King Charles is ill. Princess Catherine is recovering from major surgery. The monarchy is in a period of profound vulnerability. And Harry's actions in Canada were seen as kicking them when they are down. A palace insider told us this was the final straw. He crossed a red line. We will not let his version of events stand unchallenged. This is a new war. It is a war of leaks and briefings. The palace is no longer staying silent. They are now actively exposing what they see as Harry's lies. This is a dangerous and unprecedented escalation. Let's look at the evidence. How do we know the palace is behind these leaks? The language is a clear clue. The sources are quoted as senior palace aides. They use formal terms like unacceptable. They talk about the integrity of the institution. This is the language of the royal household. It is not the language of a random tabloid. Furthermore, the information is too precise. They know the exact details of the funding request. They know the names of the political figures Harry met. This information could only come from official channels, either from the Canadian government or from within Harry's own circle. The palace is sending a message. They are saying, we see what you are doing, and we have the proof. So, what was Harry's real goal in Canada? Our analysis points to one thing. He is building a new brand. The Harry and Meghan brand is global. It is philanthropic. It is political, but still relies on his royal identity. He needs the fame of being a prince. but he rejects the duties of being a prince. The Canada trip was an attempt to have it both ways. He acted like a head of state. He held meetings that resembled a royal tour. But he is not a head of state. He is a private citizen. The palace is now exposing this contradiction. They are pulling back the curtain on his entire operation. This has massive implications for the future. What does this mean for Harry's relationship with his family? It is now irreparably broken. Trust is completely gone. There are no more private phone calls. There are no more secret peace talks. The battle is now fully public. What does it mean for the monarchy? This is a huge gamble for King Charles. By fighting back, he risks looking cruel. He risks alienating Harry's supporters. But his advisors believe it is a necessary risk. They must protect the institution from Harry's ongoing attacks. They believe the public needs to see their side of the story. The reaction from the public has been fierce. Social media is divided. Some say the palace is finally standing up to a bully. Others say they are attacking his son while he is down. But one thing is clear. The narrative is shifting. People are starting to question Harry and Meghan's motives. Let's be clear. This is not a simple family argument. This is a constitutional crisis in the making. Harry's actions in Canada directly challenge the king's authority. They undermine the stability of the Commonwealth. This is about the survival of a 1,000-year-old institution. The palace's decision to expose Harry is a historic moment. It ends decades of tradition. The never complain, never explain rule is dead, killed by the Duke of Sussex himself. We are now in a new era, an era of public confrontation, an era of royal civil war. The consequences will be severe. Will Harry respond? He will likely feel attacked. He may give another interview. He may release another statement. The cycle of accusation and counter-accusation will continue. But the palace has shown its hand. They are no longer the silent party. They are a formidable enemy with immense resources. They have the power of the state behind them. They have the media on their side. And they have now decided to fight fire with fire. This story is far from over. The Canada trip is just the beginning. It is the opening battle in a much wider war. Every move Harry and Meghan make will now be scrutinized. And every move will be countered by the palace machine. The truth about Prince Harry is finally coming out. Not from a book. Not from a documentary, but from the very institution he left behind. They're exposing the lies. They are revealing the deception. And they're doing it for one reason: to save the crown from one of its own. This is the new reality for the royal family. And you will see it all unfold here. First, if you want to stay on the front lines of this royal war, you need to be part of our channel. We break the stories the others are afraid to touch. Help us spread the truth. Like this video. Share it on all your platforms. And most importantly, subscribe to Royal Report 24/7 and hit the notification bell. The battle is just getting started. You do not want to miss what happens next. Thank you for watching.